Hey there, fellow edibles enthusiasts. It's Margaret here, your host of Bite Me, the show about edibles. Are you ready to take your cannabis education to the next level while connecting with an amazing community of like-minded people? Then let me introduce you to something truly special, the Bite Me Cannabis Club. Imagine this, a welcoming space where you can learn, share, and grow your love for cannabis and making edibles. As a member, you'll get exclusive access to a private podcast feed, workshops, community challenges, live events, and best of all, a safe, supportive community where you can ask questions, share recipes, and bond over your shared passion for cannabis and food. So here's the deal. The doors to the Bite Me Cannabis Club are officially open, and you can be one of the first to join by signing up right now. So don't wait. Head over to joinbiteme.com. That's joinbiteme.com. And let's make 2025 the year you connect, learn, and create with other cannabis lovers in a community like no other. I can't wait to see you there. Friends, welcome to episode 283. And today we are talking about 2025 edibles trends. Welcome to Bite Me, the show about edibles, where I help you take control of your high life. I'm your host and certified ganger, Margaret, and I love helping cooks make safe and effective edibles at home. I'm so glad you're here. And welcome back, my friends. We are going to be doing another fantastic episode of Bite Me today, and I'm really looking forward to this subject matter because I think there's lots of things happening in the cannabis industry that are really exciting. But don't take my word for it. This episode is a compilation of thoughts and predictions from folks who work every day in the cannabis industry, and they're going to share their insights with you. Stay tuned for a really fun episode today. If you have just discovered the show for the first time, I'm really excited to have you here. How did you discover the show? Let me know. I love to hear from new listeners. And if you've been around for a while, thank you. Thank you for being here. It's not easy creating a show from scratch, which I did 5.5 years ago. And I wouldn't be here without the regular listeners who support me each and every week. So thank you. I'm here to ask y'all as well, how's your mental wealth going so far this year? Prioritizing sleep, diet, exercise, stress management. I'm working on all those aspects to have the best year possible. Now, of course, I've been working on some of these for a number of years. For me, one of the things that really have been working on more as of late is trying to get to bed earlier. And I do go to bed at a reasonable time, but I will often find myself doom scrolling. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that mindless habit that keeps us up far longer than we were intending to. Or I'll stay up watching a show on my laptop, with a goal to get off my phone completely, but I'm not always successful, and I find myself staying up longer than I want to, and then my sleep isn't as good as it can be, and sleep is so important. The reason it's been listed first in all those 5 health markers is because it is so important. The science behind it now is just growing about how important it is to get your sleep so you can wake up feeling refreshed, so you can heal, so you can feel better. Like all these magical things happen when you're sleeping. While I often use cannabis in the evenings to unwind and relax, and it does help me with some sleep, I've also found that combined with Magic Mind Sleep, I get to sleep faster and I enjoy a deeper sleep as well, which is pretty important. And I often can check my scores on my Oura Ring because I have an Oura Ring that will allow me to see the kind of sleep that I'm getting. Because as an adjunct to that, I can also tell when I've had a drink. If I've had a glass of beer or a wine later in the evening, it will disrupt my sleep, and I can see that too. And so I'm really working on getting that better sleep because I just feel so much better the following day and I get so much more done. Otherwise, I can sometimes find myself really dragging my feet, especially mid-afternoon. I'm sure many of you have that same feeling. So I use Magic Mind when I'm sitting down in the morning to work because it gives me that focus and clarity that I really crave, that helps me work without distractions. And then Magic Mind Sleep when I go to bed. And those 2 things have been really helping me to prioritize my health so far this year. And it's a wonderful tool in the toolkit that includes a host of other things that I'm using, like cannabis, meditation, exercise, keeping the sweets to a minimum. That's one reason why I infuse my sweets, because then I can only have so many. So there's all kinds of things you can do to sort of build that toolkit so you can have a better mental wealth and resilience in 2025. So why not join me in making 2025 the year you build your mental resilience? You can improve your sleep and your awake clarity with Magic Mind. It's doctor validated, backed by research, and you can get 45% off the Magic Mind bundle with my link. It'll be in the show notes, but it's magicmind.com/bite me Jan. And with that, let's get into the trends in 2025. Now, most of these are going to be around edibles, but not exclusively. And I got some really interesting feedback from folks who were willing to share what they thought we were going to see in 2025 as far as cannabis and edibles goes. These are people who work every day in the cannabis industry. They have their ear to the ground. And I mean, I do too, to an extent, but not the same way that these folks do. Let's start at the beginning with Warren Bobrow. Warren was a guest on my show, probably 5.5 years ago. He was one of the first, not the first, but he was at the beginning, one of the first guests that I ever had on my show. Warren is known as the cocktail whisperer, and he has also created a beverage for the cannabis market in the US. With that, I'll let him tell you what he thinks is going to be happening in 2025 with edibles, in particular beverages.
Hi, this is Warren Bobrow, and I think where drinks should be going, where I hope that they're going, is to make well-prepared, delicious craft drinks using the best ingredients that money can buy, that are not seltzers, that go beautifully with food and complement your dinner and complement your lunch and complement your lifestyle. Not just get high quick products, but products that speak clearly to the quality of the ingredients at hand, using hash rosin, live hash rosin from small farms, preferably female-owned, like I do out in New Mexico with my craft cannabis, live hash rosin, frozen custard, the Meserol recipe with Dutch Bliss. And I just hope that people use better ingredients simply prepared with love. That's it.
Next, we have Jackie McGaskill, and Jackie is the author of Chill, Wine Lover's Introduction to Cannabis, which is a wonderful book if you're looking to introduce cannabis to any of the wine lovers in your life. She is also the co-founder of Sheesh Hash Colas. This is what Jackie had to say about cannabis trends in 2025. So the first point she makes is the expansion of cannabis beverages. This expansion is attributed to consumers seeking alternatives to alcohol and traditional edibles. As a result, we'll see more tea, cocktail flavors, and sparkling waters available. This will continue to contribute to a greater normalization of cannabis in social settings. She also points out a rise in female consumers, point number 2. Producers and retailers will increasingly focus on edibles, tinctures, and topicals and beverages that appeal to female consumers who make over 80% of the purchasing decisions in the US and are a fast-growing segment in cannabis. And number 3, an increase in low-dose and minor-based products. This trend will reflect the shift towards health-conscious consumption and will support products that are designed to promote stress relief, relaxation, and overall well-being without the intense psychoactive effects. Next, we have Kina Moffett, and she has also been on the podcast Flower and Foodie. This is what she had to say. Thank you for including me in your upcoming episode. I'm excited to share my thoughts for what's ahead in 2025 in the cannabis, edibles, and beverages space. One of the most exciting shifts I'm seeing is how millennials and Gen Z are collectively moving away from alcohol consumption in favor of mocktails and craft drinks. This cultural pivot is creating a tremendous opportunity for cannabis and herbal-infused beverages to take center stage. These products have the potential to redefine social experiences, offering the same sophistication and ritual we associate with bars or cocktail parties, just without the alcohol. What excites me most is how this trend leaves the door wide open for mixology innovation. Cannabis infusion in adult beverages is an untapped frontier, blending herbalism with the art of crafting flavors that are both enjoyable and functional. Think bespoke cannabis mocktails featuring terpenes and adaptogens designed to enhance mood, promote relaxation, or spark creativity. The result? A social experience that's elevated, mindful, and perfectly suited to the modern foodie. As someone passionate about the intersection of cannabis, food, evolution, and creative culinary experiences, I see 2025 as the year when infused beverages become not only an alternative, but a mainstay in adult social culture. The potential to bring herbal wisdom and culinary artistry into this space is truly inspiring, and I can't wait to see how it evolves. Next, we have Amanda Breeze, and she and her co-host Ryan of The Smoking Spot shared their predictions for 2025, focusing more on flavor.
Hi, I'm Amanda Breeze.
And I'm Ryan Herron.
And we're the hosts of the Smoking Spot podcast. These are our predictions for flavors in 2025.
I think we're going to see edible makers having more fun. They're getting bored of the old watermelon and mandarin orange flavors. I just picked up a bread and butter pickle flavored 100 milligram edible last week. And I think as packaging costs have come down a lot for these guys, it's really easy for them to flex on a dime and drop new flavors. So we're going to see weird one-offs, chef collaborations, and more fruity combos that we haven't seen until this year.
Okay, my prediction for 2025 is that as we're seeing brands moving away from refined sugars, but simultaneously the rise of the luxury cookie companies, there's going to be an influx of sweet bakery flavors that feature maple and brown sugar, maybe combined with other warm ingredients like vanilla or lychee.
So true. We're looking forward to hearing everyone else's predictions and a lot more flavors, smells, and edibles in 2025.
Those are some fantastic predictions, Amanda and Ryan. Thank you for that. And this really leads in beautifully into this next comment by Kelly Kreutzer. She is the founder of Kreutzer Confections, and I hope I have pronounced your last name correctly, Kelly. Apologies if I have not. And this is what Kelly had to say. In the U.S. edible market, there are so many brands out there just pushing the same products. I think it's crucial for these brands to raise the bar when it comes to other ingredients and infusion methods. For my own creations, I go with solventless cannabis, like hash or rosin, along with fresh ingredients. It really makes a difference in the overall edible experience. I'm hoping to see more brands stepping up and improving the quality of ingredients they use across the board. Next up, we have Chef Adam Vandermeer of Your Canna Chef sharing his thoughts, his predictions for 2025.
Hey, Margaret, it's Adam from Your Canna Chef. And thank you for asking me to kind of put my 2 cents in as to where I think the trends in edibles will go this year. I personally think that food is the way of the future for cannabis. And quite frankly, I would love to see the trend be that infusions become part of kitchen pantries, that adding in cannabis into even a Tuesday night meal becomes the norm, and that's how we get our medicine. I know that's how I do. Getting things into pantries, I think that, and normalizing it that way. Absolutely love listening, and I'll put in a plug here for the Bite Me Cannabis Club too, because if any of the listeners there haven't been there, go over. It is so awesome, and we'll see you there.
Love it, and I appreciate the plug, Adam, as well. Next, we have the predictions from Karen of Sense and Purpose, and she says, in general, current consumers will look for even more convenience and good value. Smaller format flower will continue to decline. Pre-rolls will continue to be the fastest growing in combustibles. If, as the technology improves, in the vape category, this growth will also pick up. Until then, it will see steady but slow growth. Newer consumers, specifically women and people 55 years old and up, will become more central to category space allocation and product assortment. Relaxation, sleep, then anxiety, mental health are the primary need states to address. Edibles, specifically gummies, will see continued strong growth due to variety and cost effectiveness. We'll see a surge when the regulations are amended to allow 100 milligram THC per package, which would allow 10 milligrams max per individual piece, which is quite a bit more than what we're allowed today in Canada. Beverages will see exponential growth as more and more consumers move away from alcohol. Wellness as a subcategory will outpace the growth of the more traditional high potency, low price offerings that dominate the category today. From an industry perspective, we will continue to see a proliferation of bankruptcies due to massive loans coming due and or the inequity of the balance of power between LPs, licensed producers, and brands, and the flow of cash. This will most likely lead to a significant increase in the number of mergers and acquisitions. That's a really insightful piece that hasn't been considered yet, and I appreciate that, Karen. And last but not least, I had the take of Corinne of the Wake and Bake podcast, and here's what she had to say.
Oh, girl, you know I'm going to do DIY because I don't know anything that's going on in the industry. I was like, oh shit, do I have to go to a dispensary and ask somebody what the trends are? No, I obviously always come at things from a DIY angle. And I think that the biggest trend, at least for me, and as I've been developing for my new book, Highly Medicinal, has been the use of concentrates and how I really don't want to do it any other way. And I think that concentrates are the easy button. There are so many good, high quality products that are on the market now, especially here in Washington. You know, we have access to RSO made with food grade alcohol that's sun-grown, that's single strain, and a bunch of different, cannabinoid profiles. And also after talking to Dr. Joe, the guy who wrote The Cannabis and Cancer Connection, and talking about the different things that are extracted and expressed with different concentrates, I'm much more just interested in using them to make medicine. They taste better. They're easier. There's no cleanup. They're really affordable when you think about it from a milligram perspective, and you can get great deals on them. Full spectrum concentrates, cooking with that for the win. So that's my prediction in 2025, that everyone is just going to give up on flour unless you're growing it, and start cooking with concentrates and enjoy your life and your time in your cannabis kitchen so much more.
And that's everyone. And I think if we were to do a wrap up, because there's obviously a number of things that stood out to me, there's a number of things that a lot of experts agreed on. One is that we're going to see more of a health focus around cannabis usage. And maybe that comes with more consumers over the age of 55, women who are getting into cannabis or more cannabis curious. It also sounds then that people are, now that we have legalization happening in more and more jurisdictions, people are becoming more curious. The stigma is lessening, albeit slowly, but it's happening. Of course, discovering cannabis through food is one of the most beautiful ways to sort of start out with cannabis, because we all have to eat and there's so many options. But again, these options that we're finding on the legal market, the ones that are really resonating with people are the ones that are using extracts instead of a distillate. So more of a full spectrum experience, like using hash or concentrates, and whether that's in the commercial market or whether it's people who are making edibles at home. I have been having more and more people asking me about using concentrates to make edibles. So that's something I'll be looking at in this show for 2025 as well. And perhaps also the intention and mindfulness that goes along with the cannabis consumption. I'm also excited to hear about the adoption of these interesting new formats like beverages with younger people who are suddenly realizing that alcohol, although it's completely socially acceptable, the health implications aren't always the greatest, and they certainly don't always make us feel too good. So they are really interested in adopting some of these new products and sort of moving away from alcohol. And I think that will really help us to see the integration of cannabis and other like compounds in social spaces. And I'm excited for that as well, because there are many times I would love to go out to a bar and be able to purchase something other than an alcoholic beverage. And if that was an option open to me, I would be all over that. Now, many of these folks do live in the US, and so their experience is going to be a little bit different from what we enjoy here in Canada. But I think the general trends, it seems like across either side of the border, folks seem to agree on many of these things, creating more fun flavors and more interesting products for increasingly discerning group of customers as well. So these are all really exciting things to see for 2025. Like I mentioned, I am interested in learning more myself about using concentrates in making edibles, because I've had numerous people tell me how that is their preference for infusing, whether it's at home or when they're going out to a dispensary, they want to buy something that has been infused with with a hash or a live rosin or something like that instead of the distillate that you commonly see, because the high is just so much more robust when you're enjoying it in a full spectrum kind of infusion. But I'm really excited about 2025 as far as these trends go. I'll be very curious to see how it shakes out. So when I'm recording the episodes for December, if a lot of these shake out, but I think it's going to be an interesting year, and I'm really glad that you're all here for the ride. And next week, I'm excited to have Karen on the show from Sense and Purpose. She was mentioned earlier with some of her predictions. And so you can learn more about what she's doing in the cannabis beverages space in Canada. And of course, don't forget to check out magicmind.com/bite-me-jan to get 45% off your Magic Mind bundle. And I am looking forward to a fabulous 2025. There's going to be a lot of fun things happening. So I'm glad you're all here for it. Do check out the Bite Me Cannabis Club, because there's going to be a lot of fun things happening over there as well. So until next week, my friends, I'm your host, Margaret. Stay high. Enjoyed the episode? Why not share it with a friend? The more the merrier. Or you can leave a 5-star rating and review on your favorite listening platform. It all helps spread the word about Bite Me, the show about edibles, so that fellow edibles enthusiasts can make great edibles at home.